If you were to be able to speak directly to board chairs here, I'm sure some will be listening to this. What advice would you give them to set their executive directors up for success?
That's a great question. So I'd probably address it on two or three levels. One is so most board chairs think of their role as almost a coach and a quarterback. So if the
Mm,
coach calls the plays, the quarterback executes, and if he or she doesn't execute well, they fire him and get a new quarterback, right?
uh-huh.
That in my mind, that's not the right analogy. The right analogy is almost like a great marriage where
Mm,
you are mostly a partner. You're a confidant. You're a therapist. You're a cheerleader. You're a taskmaster. You're an advisor. All those different pieces of the puzzle that come into a great relationship.
yeah.
And so if you would view, so there are times, and probably the best board chair I ever had was a guy named Sid Cornelius, and what Sig would do is, one, we would sit down and have dinner before every board meeting.
Mm,
Two, he would, after the board meeting, give me just great feedback in terms of what went well, what I could do better. And then
mm,
three, knowing that I also knew he had my back. So when a board member actually acted out, he was there to take care of the issue because he knew that that would cause some issues if I had to do it, right?
mm,
That's the type of board relationship you want to have. The other
yeah.
piece of the puzzle, though, is that the board chair also needs to be responsible for managing the board itself. So if a board member does cross the line and get more involved in operations than he or she should, it's really the board chair's role to counsel with that, right? It's the
Yeah.
board chair's role to make sure that everybody's doing their duty and to have those conversations if they don't.
Yeah.
And really to manage and govern and to lead the board of directors. That's another big help to the CEO. The
Yeah.
research is really clear that becoming an executive director is often a lonely job. And
Yeah.
so one of the roles of
Mhm.
the board and especially the board chair is how can we best support that executive director so that they do feel like they are making a difference and that they want to continue in that role.